Okay. Okay. Welcome, everyone. I'm so glad you're here tonight for Necklace Night. And whatever reason you're here, perhaps you're a hostess, perhaps you're watching the replay or catching us later on the live streaming into Team Sparkle. Perhaps you're a hostess or a customer, or perhaps you really are considering um, a side gig or a full-time gig. I have to tell a story though. I have to begin because it'll make me calm down a little bit because Jennifer's here tonight, and that's always makes me nervous. I had an incident that happened this afternoon that just solidifies everything. And it's what I really love about what we do. We are always learning, we are always growing, we are always changing. So if you're here thinking that you are going to just have a little more income in your life, if you think, well, I have a serious job, I just need a little recreational thing to do, you will get so much more out of this than you ever imagined. So today was one of those moments for me. I am chatting back and forth with a customer who actually responded to something that I posted online. And she posted yesterday, she's in the snow, but she really is a Caribbean girl. And so I had sent her day before yesterday, I had sent her the video of our Caribbean Dreams line, knowing that she would be crazy about it. And she was. So today she finally messages me back and she said, wow. So we had this back and forth conversation. And then we kind of break into the friend zone where we start chatting about other things. And so she leaves me not another text, a voice message, because what she has to say is just too long for a text, which I love. And she's talking about how she laughed so hard because she said, I saw you going to Shellsburg. My class reunion is coming up this year. It's in this little bitty town called Shellsburg. And she said, oh my God, my friend Stacy lives in Shellsburg. I've got to call her and tell her that my new friend Debbie. Oh, my heart just stops a beat right there. Because you see, when we sell jewelry, the first thing we are is Park Lane Debbie Duvall. And that's how I get to know people because someone introduces me, they invite them to a show, they share me with them. And somewhere along the way, she's a part of my VIP group. I follow her on all of her antics all over the world because I really do love her. And 3 months later, we are now in this friend zone. I can't tell you how that warms my heart. We've been kind of training on this the last few weeks and talking about, making connections and making them honest and real. So today I had that aha moment that yes, it is. And it's so much more than selling jewelry. It's so much more than creating a business that brings money into you. So if that's what you're looking for, beware. You will get a whole other package with it that you'll just have to deal with. So let's talk about Park Lane because I love Park Lane and I love every moment. I pinch myself some days thinking I get to do this and actually make money at it. It's great. But 68 years ago, Arthur and Shirley Levine started this company. She was 16 years old. He was, I think, 19 or 20. They were teenagers and they started an international business. I'm sure they had no idea at the time. But 68 years later, their sons are running the business as well as some of the grandchildren. So it truly is a family business that is debt free. And for all of us who work for Park Lane, who are stylists, that's a very important factor. Companies fold because they have no cash flow. Companies fold because they have debt. I feel very confident that Park Lane will continue on for another 68 years and continue to be as strong as they are. Now, some of the reasons that I feel that they've been very strong is that Arthur and Shirley started the company giving 98% back into the company. They took 2% of the profits for themselves, and then they poured that money back into the company. Now, many of you might say, well, that's a smart thing for any new business to do, and it is. However, Arthur and Shirley continued that business the whole way through. And when their sons signed on to take over the business, they too agreed to keep 2% of the profits and pour 98% back into the company. I'm going to chat just briefly about all the things that 98% does. But this is a company that is strong. They've survived 68 years of economic ups and downs, of world crises, of wars and conflicts in our country, outside of our country. There's very few companies that can say they did that. In fact, I've been selling jewelry for 13 years, and 3 years ago, the jewelry company that I was with at that point they close their doors. And I think one of the biggest factors that make Park Lane such a strong company is because they know how to pivot with the times. They know how to change. They're always moving forward and never standing still. They don't accept what is now. They're always planning for the future and making it a very vibrant business. When COVID hit, this business was truly originally an in-home party business, meaning that we did everything in real life, and I did in my other company. I did probably 2 or 3% online. Some of the other stylists did more than that, but I was strictly an in-home person. And when COVID hit and we had no more in-person shows, the last company I was with folded, and Park Lane, all the people from the top came down and said, we're going to teach you how to have a very vibrant online business. I was kind of excited instead of afraid, which is kind of good. Simply because I knew at the end of this, I would really want to delve back into that in-home business. I love the people part of it. I love the in-home. I love what it does to people when they shop. But I knew that I would also come out with a very strong knowledge and expertise in the online business. So I thank Park Lane every day that I now have a skill set that I feel that I can go out and do anything that's out there. So, so I welcome you, and I hope that at the end of tonight you are going to run to your computer and you're going to sign up for many, many reasons. I said earlier, we were chatting in one of our meetings earlier this week about how this is a great summer job. And I thought that's a great concept. And so I thought I would really talk about that tonight because so many of us make this into such a big deal. I know I did when I first started direct sales. And my biggest number one regret is that I just didn't do it years and years and years ago when my kids were small. I would have been a better mom. I would have been a better community person. I would have been a better wife. And so I urge all of you, if you're even thinking about it, just do it. You can get in for as little as $99. A trip to Target will cost you more than $99. And Target will never give you a paycheck. So if you want to start something and you want to start it now, now's a great time to have a flourishing business for summer. And I guarantee you, if you come in and you start now and you have a great summer, you're not gonna stop. Because in the summer, we get another whole line of jewelry. Park Lane has 2 large launches of jewelry a year, and that's pretty typical in the fashion industry and in jewelry accessory world, is that you have 2 big launches. You have a January launch that gives you a spring and summer collection, and then usually in the fall or midsummer, July and August, you have another collection that is your fall and winter. Several companies, we are included, offer a small collection for holiday, and then we just launched a spring collection. And you know what, girls? I have an idea that Park Lane is going to surprise us with a summer collection. Because one of the best things about Park Lane is that we don't just have these launches. We have new jewelry that drops sometimes weekly, sometimes daily, weekly, and always monthly. We have items we call style drops that are very, very effectively priced items that women want to come and grab. We have daily deals. If you've gotten a hold of some of those $7 or $14 deals, you are terrific. You're a great shopper because those were worth $80 and $150 items. Well, these things are all wonderful and they sound like they keep us busy. But the thing that they do for us, and this is where Park Lane is a marketing genius, I will just say that right from the start. They know how to get the customer to come back to us. And they make it so easy for us to develop that relationship, to keep them coming and getting this jewelry that we love and now they love too. That's a very, very important factor. I have so many people that ask me, well, my friends and family, they will shop if I start a new business, but how will I keep it going? That's probably one of the number one things people ask. And there are many reasons why we'll be able to keep it going. Number one, all this new jewelry that drops all the time, people will come back time and time again. They won't just shop you during your spring launch or your fall collection. They'll come back and take a look and they'll fall in love and they'll shop again. And sometimes then they will invite their friends to look too, because we always offer such great deals. And not only do we have all these things going on, We have a sale, their marketing plan of having our 2+4 sale that goes on 365 days of the year is absolutely genius. But the genius part is not that they offer the sale. It's not that you get two and you get four at half price. The genius part is that the two items that you pay regular price for are your least expensive items. Who does that? No one does that. My customers go nuts. It sometimes takes a couple minutes for that to sink in. Sometimes it takes the cart being shipped to them before they say, oh my gosh, that's why you wanted me to shop for those $20 and $30 items, so that now I can go on a 50% shopping spree. So all of these things are so important to how our business constantly moves forward. In addition to that, we have, I mentioned before, that some of our customers decide, sure, I'd love to have a show because I want my friends to be able to get these great deals too. If I walked into Nordstrom's today and the woman at the front door said, do you know what? Everything in Nordstrom's today is 50% off. What is the first thing I do? I'd pick up my phone. I'd call every girlfriend I knew and said, get your butt over here. If you can't come, I will video you. Tell me what you want. I'm bringing it home for you. That would be incredible, wouldn't it? Just a windfall. Well, that's the way some of our customers feel about our jewelry because they can't believe. They sometimes come and they think, well, I'm going to buy a $40 bracelet or a new pair of earrings because my neighbor Sally is having this little jewelry show. And they come, and I love these people, and they quickly say, I'm just here because I'm her neighbor. I say, welcome. We're so glad you're here. I really don't wear jewelry, honey. I'm like, that's great. Maybe you have a gift that you need. And when I'm writing them up at the end of the night and they've got a whole collection, because to get that $40 necklace, they could get 5 pieces for $90 or $100. They suddenly get that concept. And it's probably the only time in their life where they're excited to spend more than they originally thought. But they're going to get 3 or 4 or 5 times as much. They're going to save between 60 and 80%. And who doesn't love to go home and brag that they got a 60 or 80% deal on anything? So all of these things make our job so rewarding, but they make it fun for our customers. And we know that we are delivering a fabulous product, because all the things that I've just talked about won't do us any good at all if we don't have a fabulous product. My friend Brenda's here. And I think, hey Brenda, I think that we have a phenomenal product. It is high quality. It is lead, nickel, and cadmium free. The earrings are surgical steel posts and fish hooks, so we don't have to worry about allergies, whether you're buying it for yourself because you have issues, or even more importantly, you're buying it for a gift and you're uncertain about what their issues could possibly be. But in addition to that, we have a guarantee on the jewelry. And there's no company out there that would guarantee their jewelry without knowing that it will hold up, because they don't want to have that expense. Well, not only do we guarantee it, we have probably the best guarantee in the industry. Our guarantee is 4 months long, and all you have to do is bag it up and send it back. And it's for any reason. If you've run over it with your car, if you've dropped it down the garbage disposal, if your baby or your grandchild has ripped it off your neck, they will take it and replace it and exchange it absolutely free. I haven't talked a lot today, or maybe I've talked too much. I love that factor. That is just absolutely wonderful. And that's also something, as a stylist, is very important, because it saves us a lot of money. If I was selling a product to a customer and they were dissatisfied, or the quality of the jewelry wasn't up to par, I would take that money out of my own pocket and I would make that right for the customer. Well, I don't have to do that with Park Lane. They're standing behind me and they're taking care of that for me. And you know what? They make me look really good. And remember my talk about how the person knew me as Park Lane Jewelry, Debbie Duval? When those roles switch, suddenly everything that Park Lane does for me, I kind of look like a shining star, because they continue to make us look good every day of the year. They produce great jewelry. We have a great guarantee. We have a fabulous hostess plan, and they continually come out with high-end looks based on top designers that a lot of my customers recognize immediately. And I can tell you, girls, when you're in a room and somebody recognizes something as being a designer look, every girl has it on her wish list. Because who doesn't want to get a $400 or $7,000 piece for $50 or $60? And they do. They're very, very wonderful pieces. I love that we are so influenced by high-end designers because it's people like me that can suddenly afford to have them that would not be owning those high-end pieces. So as a stylist, when you come in, you already know that you're going to serve your customer with great quality products. You're going to be able to get hostesses who want to host events for you. Your customers are going to come back to you time and time again. Well, let's talk about that 98% going back into what it does for us as stylists. It's pretty incredible. You're not going to believe it, actually. Let's begin with the idea that if I paid $99, and I will tell you the price to get in, but we do have a package that's just $99. So let's say I paid a package of $99 to get into Park Lane. I know, I just forgot where I was going with this. Okay, geez, I completely forgot. The RRC. So we have a program that you paid $99 to get in, and you have a few pieces of jewelry. You get to choose up to $500 of pieces in jewelry. And then the person who sponsors you or a designer or a divisional above her will do your launch show, and you'll sell $1,000 of jewelry, and you'll get the hostess benefits. So you get $400 and $500 and $600 and $700 to add to your sample collection. And that's fabulous. But you kind of always want a little more. There's so much out there to get. So we have that program called RRC, and RRC is 5 levels of earning jewelry just for doing your job every month. And every single month you can earn that to, at the beginning for a new stylist, to put fresh samples on your table. But once you've built that sample to be probably what you want it to be, you're now able to get some extra pieces that you can give away. You know, we call this necklace night. And I always think, poor Jen is giving away all this jewelry. It's not poor Jen. She's getting it free. And we're shipping it off to the lucky girl who gets to win that tonight. So, and we all have that opportunity. It's not just Jen because she's a big wig here. It's even all of us that just work hard every single month. You can get this jewelry. And you can earn up to $1,100. Oh, it's in the other room. I just got the RRC2 necklace for this month. It's beautiful. It's gold. It has a little starburst on it. And those items, they ship to us when we earn those, and they suddenly show up in our line in a couple months down the road. So I always feel important when I have something before it launches. It makes us all really, really happy. So that 98% is going into that huge program of giving us all kinds of extra jewelry. Well, in addition to that, you can also earn a Mercedes car program. Do you know that Park Lane will offer you, when you achieve that level, a white Mercedes for a $700 car payment that they will pay? Or if you decide I have too many bills to pay, or I don't need or want a white Mercedes, they'll give you $500. And once you get all those bills paid up, then you can go snag that white Mercedes and be really, really feeling great about yourself. So let's talk about levels. Park Lane pays a commission rate of 30 to 50%. And the reason that there's a range is because we also offer a direct appoint to our individuals. And what I mean by that is if you've worked in a direct sales capacity and you've had leadership experience, then you will be eligible to come in at a comparable leadership experience. I find that mind-blowing that we are the only ones that do that. If I was a bank vice president and I worked for a bank and they closed, or my family was moving across the country, when I applied for another bank position, I would not apply for the mail clerk or the cashier. I would apply for a vice presidency. Direct sales commonly does not do that. You start over and then you have to earn your way up. So Park Lane is very smart. And Arthur and Shirley Levine did this at the beginning because they wanted to surround themselves with talent. And that program still exists today, because when you get someone who comes from another company, another direct sales company, and they have leadership experience, they not only bring with them maybe customers and possibly some of their teammates, but more importantly, they come with the knowledge of how to do the business. They come with a confidence. They come with the ability to brainstorm and have this very forward thinking. So I love that Park Lane does that. So even if you come in at the 30% level, let me just say this, that is above industry standard as well. And I love the idea that the first level of leadership is so easy to achieve. And we in Team Sparkle, you see, that's the group that invited you here tonight. The stylist that invited you is a part of Team Sparkle. And we are quite proud of being part of Team Sparkle. And Jen's here tonight. She's our leader. And so many stories there, but I won't hold you up. But anyway, so where would I go? Gosh, I get so off track tonight just looking at Jen. So I know. So anyway, so if you come in at 30%, what you're going to do, you're going to have your representative is going to be your sponsor, and she's going to be assisted by the divisional leader that's above her, and they're going to help you do your launch show so that you get off to a great start. And they're going to help you do your show and book your first shows. That's really important, and get you on a good start. And so while you're doing all this, you will achieve something called qualification. And we try to qualify every single stylist that comes on board. And that is with $1,000 in sales in your first 5 weeks. But we also encourage you to snag a partner, a best friend, a girl down the street who really needs some extra income, someone that you know that this might be a fun thing to do together. And then you're thinking, but I don't know anything about the business. How could I sponsor someone? Well, let me just say, this is the best time to do it because nobody expects you to know anything. And besides that, you are always going to have your upline or that divisional helping you train that next person too. So no worries there. And that's probably the number 2 question I get is I've tried things before and I failed because I felt so alone. In Park Lane, you are not alone. You're surrounded by people who will assist you and help you and mentor you, whether they're your direct upline or perhaps they're your sisters in Park Lane that you'll meet along the way. We have so much training that is available to us, whether it's corporate training and a ton of Team Sparkle training, as well as smaller trainings within the small group that you join with. So there's no reason to be inspired, to learn the ropes, and to travel it on a very systematic way, because we have a lot of systems in place that if you follow the systems, it's a very easy process. You might think, wow, my stylist is fabulous, and I bet she is. But you know what? She follows a system that has been proven over and over again, and these systems work. And my theory is, why break the mold? If the system works, just do it that way. And anyway, so you're going to be surrounded by lots of fabulous women who are going to help you achieve what your goals are. And that's probably a really, really important thing to talk about, because we will have girls who want to earn $100 a month. And yet we have girls who have replaced their full-time income and are doing extremely well. And we are all working side by side, and we are all doing the same things every week, just on a different level of commitment. So whatever your goals are, that is your level of achievement. And that's what we will celebrate, because recognition is probably the number 1 thing that Park Lane does the best. They will recognize you for where you are and what you achieve at that level. And I love it because it is so sincere, because everybody's been on that path. And so they're going to cheer for you and applaud you whenever you get along that way. And let me just say this, it is such a rewarding thing. I love that part of it. And once again, you are surrounded by people who want you to succeed, because if we all succeed, then Park Lane succeeds. And the more people know about Park Lane and the huge successes, the more we all win. And that is probably the best thing that we do, is that we share information. We share the things that work. We try them out. We see how they work for us. We tweak them, and then we share them with the group. And not only do they share them with the group, they share their verbiage, they share their graphics. I am one lucky woman, because I am not talented in those fields, and yet they share it with me willingly. So I could go out and replicate that and have the same level of success that everyone else does. So let's talk about getting the price to get in, because that probably is really up there with a lot of questions. Well, this is beautiful jewelry. You want to have something to show people. It's got to cost a lot. Well, it does not. In fact, our top kit is just $439. And that kit will get you $2,000 in jewelry. And like I said before, if you run and sign up before the end tonight ends, you're not only going to get $2,000 worth of jewelry, you are going to get this beautiful impression bracelet because this promotion ends tonight. It's a $188 bracelet. It's kind of one of our signature pieces. And people love to get these. My friend Brenda, who's on here tonight, she has an impression obsession. She absolutely loves them. So that's the top level. That mid-level kit that you can get is $239. And that's probably our most popular kit. And you'll be able to pick out, and that's really important, you get to pick out the jewelry. Because you see, this is our business card. It is the greatest business card that you could ever create. You can go to Vistaprint, and I don't care what they're going to print on that card. This is your business card. This is what you get to talk about every single day when you go to the post office or you go to the grocery store or you're out at your mailbox. Someone is going to talk about the beautiful jewelry you have on, or perhaps you're going to compliment somebody on some really unique, fun earrings that they have. And eventually that conversation will come around what you do for a living. I love the fact that I can actually talk about my business and gain new friends and customers and begin that relationship just by wearing my jewelry. So for $239, you can get that middle kit for $1,000 in jewelry that you pick out. And of course, another impression bracelet. And they come in about 15 colors. And once again, you get to pick out the color. Now, you heard me talk about you could get in for as little as $99. That's pretty incredible. And $99, you get to pick out $500 in jewelry. And you also get this same $188 bracelet. But it doesn't matter what level you come in at. You will be trained the same. You will earn the same commission. You will have the same ability to promote and go through the ranks. So I say you spend as much as you can because it's important to come in with some fashion that you can actually share with others. But we also have so many ways that you can earn jewelry and not have to just keep pouring money into your business without getting a paycheck. I love the fact that we are paid weekly. I love the fact that we have no deliveries to make. I also love the fact that when my customers use a credit card online, I don't pay the fees. Guess who does? Park Lane picks up that tab. It's a wonderful savings to us. Very early on, 3 years ago, we were all in meetings learning how to do everything. And everybody was asking, well, who pays for that? And how does that work? And the executive vice president that was training us at the time said, well, girls, Park Lane's job is to keep your profits in your pockets. That was kind of a new concept to me. I absolutely love that factor, that they are actually looking out for us during this time. And not only are they looking out for us, they're rewarding us. They're rewarding us with the Mercedes car program. They are rewarding us with that RRC, with that 98% they pour back in. And I've forgotten a very important factor. We have 2 trips a year that you can earn. And who else does that? Most companies do 1. They offer 2. And they are all very achievable by any level. Because on day 1, when we start, it doesn't matter if someone like Jen has 800 people on her team, they don't help her. We are all starting at ground zero, and we all go from there to earn that trip. So, and they've been to Paris. They're going to Ireland soon. They've been to the Keys. St. Thomas is the one that's on the table. So I'm dressed kind of tropical tonight, even though I think it's 35 degrees outside here in Kansas. But I wanted to share my commitment to earning this trip. So Brenda, I know, is here. I hope she's listening for her, but she's probably listening for her cousin. We've had a chat about that. And so maybe you are too. Maybe you're not here for you and you're thinking of someone else. But I hope even if you are here for you, you are still thinking of someone else who could use this, who could share this, because it is one of the most dynamic, exciting, fast-moving businesses. It's just crazy wonderful. I can't say enough about it. And I've offered no time for questions. If you have a question, stick it in the chat. Jen will answer you in the chat. But I've kind of come down to my closing of this very long, wordy show. But I'm hoping that you do look at Park Lane differently. We are not just a beautiful jewelry company that sells a great product to a lot of people. It's really impactful as to how we impact the lives of women, whether it's a woman who needs financial help, or maybe she just needs a sense of belonging and a sense of success in her life. She'll get that here. Perhaps you are looking to impact others. We have a great charity program where Park Lane will honor a 501c3 organization with 50% of the sales going to that charity. There isn't anyone who does that. And so we can set those up and offer a great deal of money. In fact, I have a woman who's considering Park Lane, and she's starting a 501c3. And so I got super excited because she was coming to me to do an event with and for her. And I'm thinking, no, you become the stylist and you offer them 50%. And then you're going to get paid on the other 50%. She can choose to keep that as extra income, or she can also choose to put that back into her 501c3. And that's more than she could do with just having me. So I'm super excited. I think that will be a great, wonderful thing. And perhaps this is a route that you'll want to go, that you want to support charities. So whether you're supporting charities or just making the average housewife get out of her home and feel great about wearing some jewelry, because I learned a long time ago, people who tell me they don't wear jewelry, you know what? They all wear earrings and they all love earrings. So I think we all love to feel good about ourselves. And somehow that little perk of designer inspired high quality jewelry can do just that. It can make a difference in somebody's life. So I hope that you do go and you consider this, and perhaps you will sign up tonight. Perhaps I'll see you in training on Friday. We have a great meeting called the Huddle on Friday, and I would love to see you there. So that's all I've got. Anybody have any specific questions? You can unmute and talk now if you'd like. You can stop the recording, I guess. No, we're gonna be shy.
I see one from Gracie. I'll answer a couple of these questions. Debbie did a great job. Great job sharing everything about Park Lane. So a couple things. First, let me answer Gracie's, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the tax benefits, because I know that was one question Diane had for me earlier.
Oh, okay.
So Gracie says having a demanding job. She said having a demanding John. I don't know if John's your husband, Gracie, but I think you mean job. A demanding job can make it challenging to have a side hustle. Any tips? You know,
Sorry,
Gracie,
my fat fingers.
What was that?
I said, sorry, my fat fingers.
I thought, you know, sometimes my husband's demanding, so maybe it was your demanding husband.
True.
I'll tell you, you know, a lot of probably more than half, maybe even close to 75% of the stylists on our team work full time. So this is something that kind of fit into the, you know, nooks and crannies. And what I have seen is, you know, if you're on Facebook, that's an option. I do right now probably I like to do 3 parties a month in person, and then I do usually one Facebook party a month, and I get multiple hostesses into that one party. So that's a great way to just even do it, you know, over a weekend, like we've been doing this past weekend, Gracie. And, you know, you start probably with one hostess, but once you've done a couple parties, you can easily do 2 or 3 hostesses at the same time for an online party. So that's one option. I also think if you're going to do parties in person, the best thing about our business is you get to call the shots. You get to decide when you want to work, when you don't want to work. So I've done, I have one coming up. I do sometimes a Saturday morning party, like, you know, bagels and bling at like 10 a.m. That's a good time to do a party. But you can definitely work this around your schedule, and there's no quotas. So once you're a stylist, you are a stylist for a year.
Well, and Team Sparkle offers once a month, we have a mega show. And I love this not only for the brand new person who doesn't have a lot of jewelry and maybe a lot of experience, but like I don't have all my samples for the Caribbean Dreams collection yet. And on April 1st, I'm hoping to have them by then, but April 1st, our team is having what we call a mega show. So if you do nothing but that mega show every month, that Jen or one of the other leaders is going to do for us. See, I'm actually a very lazy leader. I like to jump on things that will work for me. And then all you have to do is worry about your hostesses and your customers and follow up with them. They do all the heavy lifting. They set up the Facebook site, they show the jewelry, they get everything to coordinate. And so it's great training to learn how to do those things. But in the meantime, you're getting your customers and your hostesses. And that I find for people, because I have most of my team, they all work full time. And so it's much easier for them to be able to do that because they're doing a much smaller part. But then, like Jen said, if you're really smart, you'll have 2 or 3 shows going on in that mega show. And then you're good to go for the month if that's all you want to do for the month. So lots of good ways to do that.
So let us know, Gracie, if you have further questions on that. And then I just want to mention too, because I know Diane and I briefly texted about the tax benefits to having a home-based business. So just a little background, before I became a jewelry lady, I was a CPA for a number of years. And I will tell you, any home business is great for tax purposes. And the reason for that is because you're able to write off things that you would have spent money on anyways. So for example, my mom lives in Pennsylvania. I fly out to see her once a year. I always do a little party with her and her neighbors, you know, bring a few pieces of jewelry. It's not even that big of a deal. But because I do that, I write off my flight. I write off my meals there. I write off part of my cell phone. You know, you can write off your mileage if I don't get as much mileage as I used to because I do a lot online, but you know, like for you, Diane, let's say you decided to join, you could write off all the jewelry you've purchased in 2024. You could, now I know you had your party last year, but a lot of hostesses end up joining and then they can write off any snacks that they bought for their party. Anytime you do an event at your house, because I'll do that sometimes too. And Gracie, that might even work for you as well, where I'll just do like, especially when a new line comes out, I will invite customers to my house, put out some snacks, they come see the jewelry. And then I get to write all of that off. So I'm trying to think of what else. I do write off my nails. This is not tax advice, but I do call them display because I think if I wasn't selling jewelry, they wouldn't need to look so nice. So I do write off my nails.
Ironically, I'm doing my taxes now and I'm kicking myself because I'm doing it on TurboTax, and TurboTax has one of the categories and it offers you things that you can't. I have a set spreadsheet, but I didn't notice that it has housekeeper. If I had my house cleaned, I could be writing that off. Oh my gosh. That I think
a percentage, Debbie. Don't go crazy.
It's
a percentage.
This whole house will become a jewelry store at some point. So.
But she's right. Like I'm sitting right now in my office, which is not very big, but the percentage of my office, which I think we ended up taking like 18%, the percentage of my office to the rest of the house, I get to take 18% of my house cleaning, of my taxes, of my utilities, of my all those things. If you have a dedicated office space, so it helps us every year.
Well, and 2 years ago, I had a new roof. My insurance paid for that, but I had to paint my house. I got to take 18% of home repair off of that.
Yeah.
That was a huge windfall because that was a boatload of money. So yeah, it is a good thing.
There are some good things. So all right, good job. I don't want to take over, but any other questions from anybody?
No. Okay.
All right, you want to wrap them up, Debbie, and give them the secret word?
Oh, that's right. Okay. Well, Easter's just around the corner.
I'll get the survey. You keep going.
Okay. I'm hoping that you all have a great Easter weekend. So you have to fill out a 5-question survey in order to be in the drawing for the necklace. And that 5 questions is basic information. And the only one that will contact you will be the person that invited you here tonight. But you do need a secret word. And that secret word is Easter. So since we're coming upon the Easter weekend, just pop that in there and make sure you do it right now and tonight. She's got the link to that survey. Otherwise, you'll forget and you won't do it and you won't be eligible to win. And since there's just 2 of you online, I don't know who else is watching in Team Sparkle or may watch it later, but the chances are good of winning, girls. So.
All right. Well, thank you. Thanks, Debbie.
Okay. Thanks. Bye, guys. Brenda, I'll be chatting with you soon.
All right. And I'll shut down the recording.
Okay. Thank you so much, Jen. I'm glad you were here.